Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So my name's Tally and I'm 27 and I want to show you how you can use property to break free from the 9 to 5 mold. You don't want to be spending your entire life working 9 to 5, which I would say are the best hours of the day. You want to be doing more than that. You don't want to get to 65, 70 and be like, great, this is now my time. I've saved up enough money, put enough money into my ISA, into something else, then just to be able to spend it when you're old and you can barely move around and you've wasted all that time you could have had doing fun things, but instead you were committed to your 9 to 5 job, just chasing that paycheck every month. But with something like property, you can spend 6 intense months working on a project and then get it to the end of those 6 months, rent it out, Airbnb it, HMO it, something which is going to create you passive income forever. So most people don't think this is possible because the way we've all been brought up is normally through a schooling system. You work throughout the day, you get home, you go home, you do your homework, you're set in a schedule, working 5 days a week, basically conditioning you to go into the work world and just fuel the economy, do the things that good workers are meant to do, rather than thinking outside the box, being like, how can I make money? How can I make passive income? Why am I wasting every single hour of my day to work for a paycheck to make someone else rich? Like, what's the point of that? Well, you could put all those hours into yourself, into your own business, to generate your own income, to fuel you later on, to do anything you want to do, rather than using all of your time to make somebody else rich. But property isn't a get rich quick scheme. It requires a lot of work, a lot of knowledge. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta learn these things. Like, I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm here to show you what I do with my day-to-day time in building these projects, understanding how you can fund your own projects using leverage, for example. So when you invest in a flat or a property, you're investing in an income generating asset. So something like a rental or buying a property which its value will increase over time, or a rent to rent or a flip, something like that, anything. If that asset then is generating £2,000 a month, let's say that's your living cost, what you need to be spending every month, then congratulations, you just replaced your whole job with property. So let's just talk about leverage for a second. So leverage is an incredibly powerful tool. So if you wanted to buy £200,000 of stocks, you would need £200,000. But if you wanted to buy a £200,000 property, you could use leverage through a mortgage. So let's say you have to put in £40,000 for the deposit. The mortgage could be £160,000, and there you go, leverage. You don't need a whole £200,000 to purchase a property. You just need 40. So here's where it gets a little bit exciting. So if your property was to increase in value by 5%, that's a £10,000 increase. So on your initial investment, which was only 40,000, it's gone up by 25% already. You've only put in 40,000, it's gone up by 5% of 200,000, that's 10,000, and there you go. Already 25% increase in value. So essentially, you would be building wealth with someone else funding the bulk of it. Now, leverage does come with responsibility. You can have bad tenants that aren't going to pay you on time. They could just not pay you at all. It does get kind of complicated, so you have to be careful. So you have to make sure that you are ready to accept the responsibility which would come from leveraging money, e.g. a mortgage, and that if for some reason your tenant couldn't pay you that month, you would need to cover that. But if you're smart, leverage is the key to generating life-changing amounts of money. So once you've understood leverage, now you can look at strategies, something like a buy to rent. So you buy the property and then you rent it out to the tenants. So the tenants are paying off your mortgage essentially because they're generating income. The property itself is also going to be increasing in value over time. So as this property increases in value, you can either remortgage the property or later on sell it for a profit as well. It's also important when obviously selecting a property is you're picking something in the correct area. You don't want the value of the property to decrease over time. It's got to increase, obviously. And if you pick a bad place for the property to be, you might not be getting the rent that you require to pay down the mortgage fast enough. Another example could be flipping properties. So that's obviously buying a rundown property, putting money into it to expand it, renovate it, and then selling it for a profit. This is something you really need to know your numbers on. You don't want to buy a really rundown property. It's going to cost you a lot of money to renovate only to sell it for a little bit less than what you purchased it for. It's really important to know your numbers on this, but this is the fastest way to generate quick income, but one of the most risky ways. So another method would be rent to rent. So this is the one which requires the least amount of money up front. So you don't even have to own the property. So you'll find a landlord, you'll then ask them if you can sublet the property. So when you first arrange the rental contract with the landlord, it will be for a set amount. And then you can rent out the property for a slightly higher amount to tenants every month. And then you'll take the profit between what you rented it for from the landlord and what the tenants are now paying you. That would be your profit margin. So you don't even have to own the property for this, but it is quite a saturated market, and you have to make sure that the landlord is happy with you doing this, because then it's legal. This is popular with serviced accommodations, HMOs, and it does require a lot more management than your standard rentals. When you realize that every property you buy is a step closer towards leaving a job or getting your own freedom back, you stop seeing it as bricks and mortar and start seeing it as a way to generate your own freedom. So it's also important to remember that you don't need 50 properties. Like 3 to 5 properties is more than enough to give you more life choices, to cover your bills, to give you the time back that you would need to go and enjoy your life. So if you feel like you're stuck in a job that you don't love, property can get you out into a world where you have more choices, more freedom, more time to do what you want to be doing. But you have to get smart with it, you have to be educated, and you have to work out what works best for you. Property can very much do that for you, but you have to learn how to do it. So the hardest part isn't finding a property, it's going to be changing your mindset. So most people will just stay in a job that they feel comfortable in, that they don't even love, just to get by, just being comfortable, not making the difficult decisions. The difficult decisions will be changing from that comfortable spot into a more difficult state of mind, in taking risks, challenging yourself, learning more about things like property so you can generate income in other ways. In the long run, it will give you a lot more opportunities and choices than just chasing the paycheck every single month. If you found this video useful, hit the like button, subscribe so more people can see it. Every week I'll be trying to break down some kind of financial strategy to help you guys to get onto the property ladder. I just generally want to help people to break free from 9 to 5s, because no one wants to be spending their entire life just working to then retire to go and enjoy themselves. I think that's a terrible use of life. You want to be out, you want to be traveling, you want to be seeing the world, making memories, living your life, not start grinding 9 to 5 every single week with 4 weeks of holiday a year, if you're lucky. That sounds horrible. Don't do that. Find a way to get out of that, and property could be a way to help you with that. So watch the videos, see what you think.